You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is the case of Kelly versus Norris.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Miss Kelly, you're here today to prove to Mr. Norris that he fathered your 4-month-old twin daughters, Amira and Amia.
Yes,
Your hope is that after the DNA results are revealed, Mr. Norris will step up and help take care of his children. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Norris, you understand Miss Kelly's struggle as a single parent because you are a single parent as well. But you claim there is no way you can be the father and have genetic proof. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Miss Kelly, explain, why are you so desperately needing Mr. Norris to step up?
Well, because I have 3 children already, so before all of this happened, I let him know that I didn't want to be another single mom again. It's a lot taking care of 3 kids on my own. I don't have any kind of help. I don't get anything. I don't have any financial support. I can't find, babysitters. If I go to work, I have to pay an arm and a leg for childcare. And I think that since it's 2 parents, we should, co-parent.
Mr. Norris, you admittedly have not stepped up.
Yes, Your Honor. I don't want to become financial or emotionally involved because I'm not the father.
Explain why.
We were not ever in a committed relationship, so...
Well, it doesn't take that to make a baby. You know that.
It doesn't take that, but when she told me that she was pregnant, I told her right then and there, I said, well, I'm not going to sit here and say that, there's no possible way I could be the father because we did have sex unprotected, but I didn't finish the deed. We had sex twice. The first time, I was kind of drunk, so I remember it, but I remember not finishing. I kind of came at her with hey, redo type thing, like I need to redeem myself.
Because it was 2 minutes long.
It did happen. We had a second time, regardless. She did tell me she was pregnant, but I told her, till I'm 100% sure, I'm not gonna give you 100%.
You're saying, what does that face mean?
Because for some reason, guys love to have sex, but then they don't want to ever claim what they did. They always want to have sex, and then when a baby comes, it's not theirs. Second time now. I don't want to keep going through this.
I want to understand this relationship. So were you all dating? Were you just having sex?
We met in high school. We were friends in high school. We probably didn't talk, but we met back up at a job, and we got a number. We switched numbers. I called him. We were actually pretty cool to the point you would think we were together, but I didn't never say we were together because I really didn't do boyfriend things. I just was a single mom trying to take care of my baby. So I told him, because he was asking about all this marriage and stuff and having other kids and how he's already a single dad, and he knows I'm a single mom. So for me to sit here and tell him about my life before all this even happened, you would have thought that he would have been more careful, or he would have at least told me
or
hey.
You would have been more careful?
It was because me and him, we were on the same page at the time.
What page is this?
We were calling each other, coming over, I was coming over his house.
But when you call each other and come over to one another's house, that doesn't mean that you have unprotected sex when you both are single parents and can't barely take care of the children you have.
Yeah. I was 19 months celibate, and I told him that I didn't want to have sex because I didn't want to become another single mom of more than one child, because it's already tough.
And so you had made a decision. You're not having sex. You hadn't had sex in 19 months. And then he talked you out of it?
Apparently, because,
It will never cease to amaze me how you end up having unprotected sex with somebody that they're not even committed to you. They're not, what page is this you on? I have never read this book. If you just talking, you wouldn't be in paternity court. Let's really be honest, if you just talking. I often have to ask young women this very difficult question. If a man doesn't claim you, what would make you think he would claim children? You're saying he wouldn't do anything. He wasn't helping. He didn't provide.
But he knows
he wasn't present.
But he knows what it was between me and him.
Right, but what I'm saying to you is, why have unprotected sex with a man that you're not committed to? You're just saying y'all were on the same page. I still have not figured out what page that was.
I know that now. Why would I have unprotected sex with somebody I'm not with? Now I know that now because I'm back to being,
And all this falls on you. At the end of the day, you see.
I'm the one with the kids, and I'm the one that has to take care of the kids.
There's that old saying, mama's baby, papa's maybe. Meaning, when you're in a situation, a man can say, I may or may not be the father of this child. And we have, of course, paternity testing to help you get those answers. But until that time, You're definitely the mother.
Yep.
And you're definitely
That's why I
responsible.
gotta take my job serious, because I have 2 kids to raise, or 3 kids to raise, and they're all little babies.
But what I need you to understand is your situation you're in is in large part because of your lack of responsibility. Mr. Norris, what are your other doubts?
For one, we weren't in a committed relationship, so she didn't owe anything to be like, say, to be faithful necessarily. Like, she didn't owe that to me. Also, they don't look like me, for one. And I had a buddy of mine that worked with her. He told me that he had overheard her saying to somebody that they were not my children, but they were her first child's father. That he was the father, and it wasn't me.
Did you ever tell anyone that, Ms. Kelly?
No, me and my first child's father are like not even on talking terms. He's doing what he's doing. I mean, text messaging, that's probably what it would be, to see if he was gonna step up. But other than that, no, it was nothing to even be talked about him.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Mr. Norris, what are your other doubts?
While she was pregnant, I called on a regular basis. It was never smooth conversation. It was never like, oh, well, I'm a little queasy today, better than yesterday, but everything's good. And thank you for checking up on me, but
and you're not there. Who wants to sit on top
what
of the
all
phone?
can I do, Your Honor? I'm not carrying the child. Only thing I can do is check up on you. I already told you, for one, I'm not sure 100% that I am the father, and I'm not gonna put myself in 100% because I have a 4-year-old that needs my time and my money also. If I am the father, why are you being so hateful and spiteful when we speak on the phone? For what reason? Like, conversations would last no longer than 5 minutes because we couldn't stand to be on the phone with each other because it was always negative. And then I heard the exact same story after the babies were born. I was playing basketball like 2 months ago, right? Buddy of mine, I don't know how the conversation the kids came up. It came up, and I'm like, yeah, I got pendant twins. Like, I don't know if I'm a father or not. He's like, Miss Kelly? I'm like, yeah, he's like, so you the other guy? And I'm like, yeah, I'm the other. But it didn't surprise me because, like I said, I heard the story once before.
So you
I still didn't
that same story reinforced
when
after
she was
the
pregnant
children.
and after the children were born. I had the exact same
Probably
story
the
from
same
2
person
completely
that he's
different
talking
people.
about that was invisible. That was Casper, most likely, because it's nobody that can say anything about me. Who was your friend?
Your Honor.
Let me know.
So
who
you're
your friend
saying
is.
the same invisible person told the story twice?
To make me look bad? Because obviously
Your Honor.
his friend wants to be him. Just
It was
as
never
much of
that big a
he's
deal.
already
I
is.
never even brought it up
I
to
mean,
Miss Kelly.
tell your friend to step up. Tell you to step up.
I never brought it up to her. I can't just go by, oh, she says this, well, she says that, but it further led me to feel that way because it's like she was pushing me out at the same time because I'm like, I'm up here trying to at least have conversation with you, check on you while you were pregnant. You didn't even want to do that much. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You would want...
So
Like-
you're saying your doubt was further fueled by the fact when you called, you were met with negativity and pushback. So you said to yourself, I must not be the father. She doesn't want me around.
Yes, ma'am.
In your court papers, you also stated that you had genetic evidence.
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of evidence do you have?
Do you mind if I show you?
I don't mind at all.
All right.
Please step forward.
These are the twins. They both have the sickle cell trait. The sickle cell trait can only be passed genetically, which means either the mother has to have it or the father. Once you're said to have the trait, you go back to the doctor. 4 or 5 months later, you get the shot to see if you have the disease, because you can have the trait and not have the disease. I don't have the sickle cell trait, either does Money. I went further in investigating myself because my mother's like, well, that's your proof right there, like you're not the father, but I needed a little bit more. I went to the hospital and I checked my records. Records say I don't have the sickle cell trait. They wouldn't let me print my records off because I didn't have an ID.
So you didn't bring that to court today?
No, ma'am. But I checked it out. Don't have the trait. I also went back, looked in my family tree. Diabetes came up, high blood pressure, a couple other different type of cancers, but sickle cell trait did not come up on my mother's side or my father's side. Miss Kelly, her mother doesn't have the trait or her father. And as far as they know, either or, the grandparents don't have it on either side. So with them having the sickle cell trait and it has to be passed down genetically, I don't have it, Miss Kelly doesn't have it. The father has to have it.
Miss Kelly,
Your Honor.
Does anyone in your family tree have the sickle cell trait?
No, not that I know of. I don't know how the sickle cell trait came in my babies and neither one of us have it. I was questioning it too, so I really don't know.
Well, the court wanted to get that answer as well. So at this point, I'd like to call medical director of the Sickle Cell Association, Dr. Witten Sherney. Please escort her in. Jerome.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Maybe come in a minute. Right up to the witness stand next to the judge. Watch yourself going up the steps.
Thank you, doctor, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I want to first understand, what exactly is sickle cell disease?
Sickle cell disease is a blood disease. It's a disease of the red blood cells, where the red blood cells, they take on an unusual shape. They're shaped like a farmer's sickle. They're sticky and they're fragile, and they block blood vessels, and that causes pain. So one of the hallmarks of sickle cell disease is pain from time to time. Another problem is that people with sickle cell disease don't fight infection well. But we're talking about sickle cell trait now. We're not talking about sickle cell disease.
And what is the difference?
Everybody has 2 hemoglobin genes. You get one from your mother and one from your father. Hemoglobin is the red stuff that's inside the red blood cells. So if you get a normal gene from both parents, you're normal. If you get a sickle gene from one parent and a normal gene from the other parent, you have sickle cell trait. Sickle cell trait is a carrier state. It doesn't cause problems. The main problem that it causes is if both parents have sickle cell trait, there's a 1 out of 4 chance of the child having sickle cell disease.
In the testimony here in this case, Mr. Norris did some research and could not find a sickle cell trait in his family tree.
Okay.
And Ms. Kelly says she also could not identify anyone in her exact lineage that had the sickle cell trait.
The most important thing to understand about that is exactly what kind of research did you do? Because the way to find out whether you have sickle cell trait or not is to get a blood test. And 1 out of 10 African Americans have sickle cell trait. And a lot of times the way young black men find out they have sickle cell trait is when they have a baby with sickle cell disease. And that's not the way to find out. We want people to make informed decisions about childbearing.
And so in this case, both of the twins have the sickle cell trait.
Right.
That means that one of the parents has the trait.
One of the parents has to have sickle cell trait.
So either one of these two have it,
Right.
or there potentially is another father that does.
Yes. And the good part is that they have sickle cell trait. It's not the disease.
Thank you so much, doctor. This is so informative and so fascinating. So, Mr. Norris, after hearing the doctor's testimony, does this even further confirm your doubt?
Yes, ma'am. Kind of let me know that I was on the right track as to my knowledge on the sickle cell trait. I feel that I'm not the father, for one, because I don't have the trait, neither does she.
Ms. Kelly, how about you?
It did kind of make me like think, should I go get tested for it? But I've never been told, because I've had a lot of blood taken from having babies. They take your blood. They never came back and said you have sickle cell trait or anything about it.
Do you know that it was tested though for
There you go.
No, I have not gotten told that I have sickle cell trait or anything about sickle cell. So that's why I'm listening to her story and I'm like, wow, because I have no doubts that he's the father, because I have pictures to show, like, as a child, my babies look like him and his other child. So I have pictures to even show. Can I show you those?
Let me see that evidence, please, ma'am. Thank you, Jerome. So what you've submitted to the court today, you say are pictures.
The one on the right looks like him in the middle, and my daughter looks like his son.
So that's Mr. Norris as a child in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And the twins on either side.
Yep. His baby pictures looks like my baby pictures.
All right, this is definitely quite a mystery. I think the only way to move forward is to get the results.
Yes, ma'am.
Jerome, may I have the envelope, please? Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. In the case of Kelly versus Norris, when it comes to 4-month-old twins, Amara and Amia Kelly, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Norris, you are their father.
Sickle cell and all. Missed 4 months from that.
How does it feel, Mr. Norris, to finally know for certain that you were wrong in your
I mean,
assumption?
I got twin girls.
That's what I wanted to hear.
That's a
Isn't that
blessing
the
in its
bonus?
own. Yeah. I apologize for any inconvenience I've had to you, but it's time to figure out and get this show on the road, really. I mean, I've always wanted a girl, and to have two of them is a big deal. We'll make it work.
I know it's been a long road, Miss Kelly. Are you happy that he wants to be a part of the twins' life?
I still feel like I'm be the one that's having to do everything still. 'Cause I just,
You know, I know how it is to be a single parent. We made a mistake and we got to live with responsibilities, and who wouldn't want to live with those two responsibilities? You know what I'm saying? So,
This case was a shocker. I don't know the results. And I was rooting for these twins. It's so easy to hear a medical fact and just assume, well, it's not me. I've never heard that. And so while I understood how when you went to the hospital and thought you got the answer, we still don't know between the two of you who's the carrier of the trait.
One of the parents has to have sickle cell trait. We should find out.
And as the doctor just said, you two should find out. Ultimately, you have two beautiful little girls together.
thank you.
I know it's gonna take you, and he's smiling from ear to ear. I know you can barely look at him, Miss Kelly, but he really is smiling from ear to ear. And I think that's a good beginning, okay? I wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you.
Court is adjourned.